Hold on to your hats, folks, because the United Kingdom is teetering on the edge of a political earthquake that could bring down one of its most prominent figures, Chancellor Rachel Reeves. In a jaw-dropping twist that's sending shockwaves through Westminster and beyond, explosive allegations have erupted, accusing Reeves of pulling the wool over the nation's eyes with a scandalous web of financial deceit tied to a massive defense spending boost. This isn't just a story, it's a bombshell that could rewrite the future of Britain's economy, military, and global standing. Get ready for a rollercoaster ride through betrayal, hidden millions, and a desperate bid to cover up what might be the biggest political scandal of the decade. Before we dive into this mind-blowing saga, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Don't miss out, this is the kind of bombshell content you won't find anywhere else, and we're just getting started. Drop a comment below with your wildest theories about what's really going on. Could Reeves be the tip of an even darker iceberg? Subscribe today and join our community of truth seekers who refuse to let these secrets stay buried. Trust me, you'll want to be part of this journey as the drama unfolds. Now, let's peel back the curtain on this electrifying tale. Last week, Prime Minister Keir Starmer dropped a bombshell announcement that's got everyone talking. The UK is gearing up to pump its defence spending to a staggering 2.5% of GDP by 2027. That's an extra £6 billion a year pouring into tanks, jets, and missiles. A move Reeves herself touted as a golden ticket to revive Britain's forgotten industrial towns and turbocharge the economy. She painted a rosy picture of jobs galore, thriving businesses, and a military might that'd make the world tremble. But hold the phone, newly uncovered reports have blown the lid off this grand plan, revealing a sinister underbelly of alleged lies, falsified figures, and shady dealings that could land Reeves in the dock facing legal fire. Picture this, Reeves, the woman tasked with steering Britain's financial ship, strutting into meetings with top UK defence firms, promising them a slice of this multi-billion-pound pie. She's been banging the drum about how this cash injection will put British workers back on the map, especially in those gritty northern towns that VE been left to rot for decades. This is about jobs. This is about growth. This is about security, she cried, rallying the troops at a glitzy London conference hosted by Make UK just days ago on Tuesday, March 4, 2025. But while she was dazzling the crowd with her vision, whispers were growing louder, whispers that turned into a deafening roar when leaked document hit the scene, suggesting that millions of pounds earmarked for defence might have been funneled into shadowy accounts or flat-out misreported. Let's break it down, because this is where it gets downright scandalous. Sources close to a bombshell investigation claim that Reeves didn't just fudge the numbers. She allegedly cooked the books to hide where this money's really going. We're talking about sums so massive they could make your head spin. £32 billion allocated to defence industries, both at home and abroad, with a hefty chunk supposedly staying in the UK. But wait! Insiders are screaming that significant portions of this cash might have vanished into a financial black hole, rerouted to undisclosed destinations or padded into contracts with handpicked cronies. If this is true, folks, we're not just looking at a little oopsie. We're staring down the barrel of potential fraud on a scale that could make Watergate look like a kiddie prank. Critics are losing their minds, howling that Reeves' cozy powwows with defence contractors weren't about boosting Britain. They were a smokescreen for backroom deals that'd make your stomach churn. She's been meeting with these firms, shaking hands, promising the moon, one opposition MP raged. But now we're wondering if she was just lining the pockets of her favourites while the rest of us were left in the dark. Internal government memos, yes, memos, are said to show budget reallocations so hush-hush they were scrubbed from official records. If that doesn't scream cover-up, I don't know what does. And here's the kicker. This all comes as European leaders are scrambling to beef up their militaries, spooked by Donald Trump's wavering commitment to their security. With the former US president casting doubt on America's role as Europe's shield, Starmer and Reeves swooped in with this bold 2.5% GDP pledge, a move that's now mired in suspicion. Reeves dodged tough questions at that Make UK conference about whether Britain can still count on Uncle Sam under Trump, sidestepping like a pro. Analysts are now saying she wasn't just avoiding geopolitics, she was deflecting from the growing stench of her own financial mess. Let's zoom in on the nitty-gritty, because the devil's in the details, and these details are downright diabolical. Reeves has been preaching that this defence bonanza will lean heavily on British companies, creating high-skilled jobs and pumping cash into regions that VE been kicked to the curb by London's elite. She's been spotted hobnobbing with the bigwigs at places like RAF Northolt, where she's been photographed grinning alongside suppliers shipping gear to Ukraine. More on that in a sec. She's even floated plans to tweak the £27.8 billion National Wealth Fund, originally meant for green projects, to bankroll this military surge. Bold? Sure. Legal? That's what the experts are tearing their hair out to figure out. But those leaked docs? They're painting a picture so murky it'd make a thriller writer blush. Allegations are flying that funds meant for fighter jets and nuclear subs might have been siphoned off or mislabeled to dodge scrutiny. Financial watchdogs are circling like sharks, and political foes are baying for blood, demanding an independent audit to sniff out every last penny. If she's got nothing to hide, why is she ducking the tough questions? One Tory firebrand bellowed in Parliament. This reeks of corruption, and the British people deserve answers. Reeves, for her part, is sticking to her guns. Well, metaphorically speaking. She's doubled down, insisting the UK's defence ties with the US are rock solid, calling America our closest partner in a bid to calm the storm. She's waxed lyrical about how Britain's nuclear arsenal, F-35 jets, and Apache helicopters depend on that transatlantic bromance. But with investigators breathing down her neck, the million-dollar question, or should we say billion-pound question, is whether her alleged financial shenanigans could tank those partnerships. Imagine the headlines: Reeves' blunder leaves UK defenceless. It's the stuff of nightmares. Now, let's pivot to another jaw-dropping angle, because this scandal's got more layers than an onion, and it's just as likely to make you cry. Amid all this chaos, Reeves has been front and center in a £2.26 billion loan to Ukraine, part of a G7 scheme to prop up Kiev against Russia's onslaught. On March 6, 2025, a cool £752 million, the first chunk of that cash, hit Ukraine's coffers, funded by profits from frozen Russian assets. Reeves jetted off to RAF Northolt to bask in the glow of this heroic move, posing with suppliers churning out air defense missiles, bomb disposal suits, and cargo drones for Ukraine's brave fighters. She's been crowing about how this isn't just charity, it's a win for British workers, with firms like MBDA, Thales, and plucky SMEs like Green Jets raking in contracts. This is British innovation saving lives and boosting jobs, she declared, all smiles. The government's touting 430,000 jobs tied to defence spending last year alone, with 68% of that cash flowing outside the posh London bubble. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Except now, with her credibility in tatters, folks are wondering if some of that Ukraine cash got tangled up in her alleged financial funny business. Could this noble cause be a front for something far uglier? And let's not forget the Trump factor. His VP pick, J.D. Vance, lit a match under this whole mess by scoffing at an Anglo-French plan to send 20,000 troops to Ukraine, sneering that it's some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years. Ouch! That jab's got MPs fuming and has only cranked up the heat on Reeves to prove Britain's still a military heavyweight, not a laughingstock drowning in scandal. Zoom out for a sec, because this isn't just about guns and glory, it's about the UK's economic soul. Reeves has been sounding the alarm about a potential G7 trade war if Trump slaps tariffs on the world, warning that even if Britain gets a pass, slower global trade could kneecap GDP growth and jack up inflation. She's all about free trade, preaching its gospel like a high priestess of commerce. But if she's found guilty of fiddling the defense books, her economic playbook could go up in flames, leaving Britain vulnerable on the global stage. Legal eagles are sharpening their claws, debating whether Reeves' moves could land her in the slammer. If those falsified figures hold up in court, we're talking a scandal that'd dwarf anything we've seen in years, maybe ever. This could be the end of her, one analyst whispered to me off the record. And it might drag Starmer down with her. Pressure's mounting for Reeves to come clean, with calls for full disclosure echoing from every corner of Westminster. The clock's ticking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So here we are, March 10, 2025, staring down a saga that's got it all: power, money, betrayal, and a nation hanging in the balance. Rachel Reeves wanted to be the savior of Britain's defense and economy, but she might have just dug her own grave. Will she weather this storm, or will the investigators' gavel slam down, marking her as the architect of her own downfall? One thing's for sure, this is a story that'll keep us glued to our screens, hearts pounding, as the truth claws its way out. Don't you dare miss the next twist. Subscribe now and sound off in the comments. Are you Team Reeves? Or do you think she's toast? Let's get this conversation blazing.